So welcome back to another video on the channel. Let me just cut to the chase. In this video, I'm going to be pretty much giving you a proven way for you to increase the amount of sales calls you get for your agency, as well as the quality of those sales calls. I can near enough guarantee that once you complete this video, you'll have the ability, it's whether or not you action on it, but you'll have the ability and the knowledge on exactly how, as I say, you can increase your sales calls booked, as well as the quality of those sales calls, guaranteed. So, by the way, I know this because I am currently doing this for my agency, and what I'm about to show you in this video is exactly how we are getting 100% of all of the meetings that we are booking right now, as well as exactly how we are acquiring 100% of our clients for the agency. So I know it works, and with that being said, let's just not waste any more time and jump straight into it. So this is pretty much it. I'm going to show you a 3-step funnel, right? That is going to guarantee an increase in your current meeting book rate, as well as I say, volume, as well as quality. So the first step in the funnel is a conversion mechanism. Now, actually, let me just come back to the camera here. So the reason we have a conversion mechanism, now, actually, let me take a step back. What a conversion mechanism is it's something that, the name kind of states it, right? It converts somebody from a certain state into a different state. Now, the state 1 and state 2 that we want to convert prospects from and to in the agency world is a random person, a stranger, right? We want to convert them from that current state, which they're currently in, and we want to convert them into an eager to buy booked call, right? We want to get them to book in a call, but also in that process of them booking in a call, we don't just want them to book in a call, right? Because if they book in a call, then, that's all well and good, but they're not sold, right? And so what you then need to do is you need to sell them even more on the sales call. And that to me is a true cold sale. However, what we're doing at the agency right now, and this is how we're scaling so quickly at the moment, is simply because we're turning a prospect from a complete stranger and we're turning them into a warm lead before the call even happens. So then when we jump on the call, myself and the team, when we jump on the call, they're already bought in. It's like a warm lead. So then we just tell them our price and they pretty much convert. That's it. It's literally as simple as that. And not only are we able to convert them from a cold prospect into a warm prospect prior to the call, but we're also able to do that at scale. We're able to increase the volume of those book calls. And not only are we able to convert a cold prospect into a warm prospect, but we're also able to do that at scale, which enables us right now, we're booking in around 110, 120 calls per month for the agency, right? And obviously with that, you can't just book in 100 plus calls a month and if you have a 30% close rate, you sign 30 new clients for your agency per month, because everything is going to break at that point. So with that scale comes a lot of operational complexity in the back end. You have to have different offers and stuff like that, but that's not the point of this video. What I want to go through is how we're, that conversion mechanism prior to the call is taking place and how we're able to conduct that at scale. And as I say, it's by a simple 3-step funnel, which you can literally implement for your own agency today. And as I say, you're pretty much guaranteed to see an increase in your book call numbers because we're doing it. I see the numbers that this warrants. So going back to what I was saying before, the first stage of the funnel is the conversion mechanism. And the conversion mechanism is really comprised of 2 things in this specific funnel. The first one is the actual landing page itself, right? So like this is a kind of a long form sales letter, right? You can see it's pretty in depth, and what you'll see here is this is a written form, right? This is a written sales letter. You can obviously see it's written, right? So what this, as I say, the initial conversion mechanism is comprised of is 2 parts. One is a written sales letter and one is a video sales letter, or commonly known as a VSL, right? Video sales letter. And that is this is the conversion mechanism that converts a complete cold prospect into an eager to buy book call, because this, at least the video sales letter side of things, is structured in a certain way that, as I say, takes somebody from a random person, right? And we make them want us, right? We basically create the desire for our service inside of that prospect, right? So they build this desire inside of them and they're like, oh my God, this is exactly what I need for my brand. Or, we work specifically with e-com clients, but this works for any and every single service-based business out there, okay? And we know this again because we actually have a separate agency called Apex Acquisitions. And Apex basically builds funnels and runs ads for service-based businesses. So we see the data, right, from across different industries, not just e-com agencies or agencies overall, right? Just general service-based businesses. This works, this crushes it for every single one, right? So I wanna break down the page slightly, and then I wanna break down the video sales letter side of things slightly as well, just so you can get a good understanding and a good idea on kind of how things are structured. So obviously at the top, we have a bold claim, we have a big kind of bodacious headline. What this does is, number one, hooks people in, right? And number two, it filters out the wrong traffic. So you can literally see in the first 3 words of our headline, I literally say for ecom founders. I mean, there's no, I think a lot of the time people try and think of these crazy, like confusing, complex, like lines and whatnot. I just say exactly who it's for. Right? I say it's for ecom founders. So if somebody lands on this page and they're not an ecom founder, chances are they're going to bounce, and that's what we want because our ideal client is an ecom founder. I mean, there's nothing revolutionary going on here. So I literally say for ecom founders, and then this is where the bold claim comes into play, and this is where really we start that process of converting them. So the bold claim states how we guarantee an increase in your advertising results. So again, this really speaks to our specific ideal client, because not only is our ideal client an ecom founder, but obviously there's different stages that different ecom founders are at. And we only work with certain stages of ecom brands. And more specifically, what we really look for when we sign on a new client is that they're spending at least $10,000 per month on advertising, right? And we're actually going to be rolling out some ads soon here that literally say if you don't spend $10,000 a month on your ads, don't book, right? But what we've done here is a little bit more sneaky, but again, it really helps attract our ideal client. So we say how we guarantee an increase in your advertising results. So this implies that they're already running ads, right? And that's a really, really important factor. If they're not running ads, we probably don't want to work with them, right? Because most of the brands who aren't running ads, especially in this day and age, most of the brands who aren't running ads are probably around, maybe $5,000-10,000 a month with their business, maybe even lower than that. And obviously we don't want to work with clients of that nature. And something else that we do as well that really helps solidify the caliber of client that gets passed through this funnel is the results that we show. Okay, so you can see here in this specific, live client ad account that I got pulled up. Well, I mean, you can see, Jan 1st, 2021 to 25th of March, 2021, we spent nearly $100,000, as you can see here in the total spent column, and we brought in 733,000, so nearly $750,000 at a 7.96 ROAS. So again, if a brand's at, $10,000 a month with their business, they're not really, I mean, they're going to be, they're going to look at these results and be like, oh my God, these are amazing results. That's awesome. But they're probably not going to resonate with the results that much because they don't have, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month ad spend at their disposal, right? They probably only have maybe $2,000 or $3,000 a month spent. So they're probably not going to resonate as much with those numbers. I'm sure when you see, somebody talking about the fact that they made, 400 million in a year, right? You look at that number, and I'm not saying we're doing this for this brand, but you get the idea, right? You look at that number and you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. How did he do it? That's awesome. But you're not really going to think, oh, I can do that, right? Or you're not going to resonate with it as much as if somebody said, if you're at zero right now and somebody said how to make 100,000 in the next year or in the next 12 months or whatever, right? You'll resonate with that more. And that same concept is, as I say, is applied right in this VSL. So that's some very basic, like 30,000 foot ideas just initially as soon as you land on the page. The headline is the most important. And obviously here we have or you don't pay. So this is our ridiculous bold claim, right? Our crazy offer that we have. Like we literally guarantee an increase on brands results or they don't pay us a cent. So there's literally no downside. And what that does is obviously that helps with volume. So that doesn't help so much with quality. Quality really comes from the way that you position your agency. That's how you, attract a higher caliber client. But what helps with volume is having just a ridiculous offer in place, right? Like a no-brainer offer. So what this does then is it makes it stupid, literally makes it stupid for the brand not to book, right? Because it's just like, look, we literally eliminate all the risk for our clients and guarantee results. Like it's physically impossible for you to lose in this situation, right? And then obviously we go through like a couple different ideas here. So, brand, become your industry Goliath. Again, this speaks to our ideal client because our ideal client is trying to become their respective industries leading brand, right? Whereas, for example, somebody who's just starting an e-commerce business, they're not looking to become the industry Goliath. What they're looking to do is try and, get some consistent cash flow coming in and be profitable and whatnot. And again, that's awesome. And everybody starts at that point, but that's not the type of client that we're looking for. So all of these very subtle, sentences and phrases and the things that we talk about really help with the caliber, right? That's the caliber side. right? The crazy offer and the crazy results is more so for the volume side. Creative direction for ultimate conversion, add an extra 1 to 5 million ARR. So again, this speaks to higher caliber clients, right? Bigger brands. Slice through the noise, ice cold stranger into brand enthusiast, right? And then turning X dollars into X times 4, 5, 6. That's basically, touching on the ROAS side of things. And then we have a bunch of case studies down the bottom just to really solidify what we're saying, right? Because it's one thing to say that you can do X, Y, and Z, but it's another thing to actually prove, like with, beyond reasonable doubt, as they say in the court of law, right? Prove beyond reasonable doubt that you can actually do X, Y, and Z. Okay, and so once we've converted them, which as I say is the entire goal of this initial landing page here, most of the time it's just going to be the VSL that does all the heavy lifting. As you can see in the back end of my Wistia stats on that VSL, you can see we're getting a 22% average engagement rate, and we've had 1.3 thousand total plays. And you can see as well by this line here, you can see that we've got a really fat tail on it, right? I think this could be a little bit better, honestly. Like, it could be a little bit fatter. And what I mean when I say a bit fatter, obviously as people start off the video, there's going to be a big drop off, but as you don't want this line to go like pretty much down to the bottom, right? As time goes on, you want it to really level out and stay extremely fat, right? For lack of better words. And that shows obviously a high engagement rate and whatnot. And really you want to have this average engagement rate number here to be above 15%. So you can see we're doing that. Okay. So my point is with that is that that's doing most of the heavy lifting. That's what's really converting most of the prospects who book in a call, is by virtue of this VSL. Okay. And then once obviously they're converted, they're going to click let's chat. And this is the second stage of the funnel. So one thing that's very, very important to note here is that this booking page, right, this schedule page is very, very sparse for lack of better words, right? There's really nothing on here. And that is the whole point of the booking page. You do not want to have, different buttons going out to like different pages and, other videos on your booking page and whatnot, because then that takes them away from the main goal of the booking page, which is to get the book call, right? So I only have two options on the booking page. One option is to exit out, so you can just leave. Or the only other option is just to book in a call, okay? And another thing that I want to talk about as well to increase your book call rates is the time of the call that you actually have. So this is very, very important for volume again. And you could argue that it's important for caliber of client as well, because, higher caliber clients obviously have less time because they've got a bigger business to run. So they don't have, a lot of people have just a 45-minute event on their Calendly and, or on their, on their Acuity or whatever the software is that you have. And while that's obviously the goal, right, to get them on a 45-minute call, when you are doing, especially what I'm going to show you here as well, I'm actually going to show you a live ad account. When you start running cold ads, right, these prospects have no idea who you are. And so having a 45-minute event on your Calendly can actually, decrease the volume of your book calls. So at least that's what we've seen, right? Once we dropped the event time, as you can see here, down to 15 minutes, we seen a huge increase in the volume, as I say, of book calls. The other thing that's important to note is just what you call your event. This is not going to be the difference between you having a 10x ROI on your ad spend and a 2x ROI on your ad spend, but it's just something that, again, at scale, it's going to have a pretty big impact. Even if it helps produce, 5 more book calls out of every 200 calls you get or 100 calls you get, one of those extra 5 book calls may, result in a new client, and that might be a 5,000 a month client. That's 60,000 a year, and that's just from changing a few little things, right? So these aren't going to have a drastic impact, but they are going to add up over time. And the next section here, as I say, is the title of your event. Definitely don't call it a sales call, and don't call it like a discovery call or a strategy session. It's just so bland and boring. Try and come up with an interesting name that kind of, again, hooks the prospect in, right? Captures their attention, because it will genuinely have, maybe it's not, as I say, it's not going to be a huge increase, but it will have a small impact on your meeting book rates. And as you add these things up, so this is going to have maybe a 1% increase, this is going to have maybe a 3% increase. So whilst on their own they're not going to have a huge impact, them all added together, as I say, will produce a significant increase. So as I say, just call your event something intriguing, right? So as I say, project scale session, 15 minutes, and then we just have a very short description, nothing crazy here. Project scale will be in session after this call. Very, very simple. Next thing is the questions. So you can see here the questions that we've got. Obviously, what's your website, current monthly revenue? Okay, this is obviously very, very important for us specifically, because we, as I say, only really work with brands who select 50,000 a month, 50K 50K to 100K or more per month, they're really the clients that we're looking for. Where would you like to scale that to in the next 12 months? That's just trying to get a good grasp on their goals. How much are you currently spending per month on advertising? Again, this helps with identifying caliber of client, okay? What are the main platforms you currently see majority of your revenue come from? And then finally, how did you find out about us? Obviously, this helps with tracking as well. 100% of our clients now, or no, I would say maybe 95% of the prospects who book in with us are all say Instagram ad or Facebook ad, right? And as I say, that's why this works so well, because it's how we're booking 100% of our calls, 95% of our calls, as well as signing around 95% of the clients that we actually bring on board. Now you can see here, we've got a lot of questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions we have on our scheduler. And again, this will help with caliber of client. Now, again, if you're wanting to just, if you're just starting out and you're really wanting to get more sales calls and you're really pushing for volume, what I would do is have no questions. You can have one question that just ask them for their website, just so you know what brand you're speaking to, right? If you don't have at least this question, then you're not, you may not know who you're actually speaking to, unless obviously you can get it from their email, but whatever. But the idea is that if you're wanting to go for volume, then you need to remove as much friction as you physically can. And adding these questions in provides a lot of friction, because they've got to sit down, they've got to write out the responses. They, in some instances like this question here, they've got to give up pretty personal information about their business. And some brands may not be willing to do that. So while you may have been able to sign a client because you had this question, it may have stopped them from booking on a call, and that may have resulted in you not signing that client. And so as I say, if you're just starting out and you're really pushing for volume, you're really wanting more volume in your sales calls, don't have any questions and just have this one question here of what's your website, right? That's as simple as that. And again, that will really help with your volume. And actually, let me just go into our event in the back end of Calendly here, just so you can see exactly how we got this set up. So obviously event name, location is just, you just want to integrate your Zoom by going into integrations up here, and then you'll just be able to integrate your Zoom, small description, and then this doesn't really matter, to be honest. Next, we have obviously duration. As I say, 15 minutes is what we see as done best in terms of volume. And then we always have a 30-minute buffer, just in case one sales call goes a little bit longer or whatever, we'll have a 30-minute buffer. And then obviously the questions, if you're going for volume, have less questions. If you're going for high caliber clients, have more questions like we do. We have around 6 questions here, 7 questions. And obviously that helps with, as I say, caliber of client. And then also your reminders. So make sure you have email reminders. And one of the good things about Calendly is that you're able to have text reminders as well, which is super important in terms of show up rates. And then the final step of the funnel, and this ties in with the Calendly here, is when you create your event in Calendly, make sure on the confirmation page, you do not select display Calendly confirmation page. Make sure you select redirect to an external website and paste in a thank you funnel. Okay, so this is slightly higher concepts that we go through in the Centurion program, right? Which takes you from 10,000, 5,000, 15,000, 20, 30,000 a month with your agency, and we ramp you up to 100,000 a month. But this is a really important page for show up rates. Okay, so once you actually get a call booked in, right? So once somebody goes through this funnel, you convert them into a warm prospect, then they go ahead and book in a call via your Calendly integration. That's all well and good. You've now got the book call. That's perfect. But now that they've booked in a call, your job isn't done. Now you don't need to sell them obviously on booking the call, because they've already done that. What you now need to do is sell them on showing up to the call. And that's what a strong thank you funnel does. Now we sell them on showing up to the call, because there's no point getting 50 book calls a month if only 4 of them show up, right? So a strong thank you page increases that conversion rate from booked call to actually showing up for that book call. Okay, and as I say, you do that by virtue of going into Calendly, redirect to an external site on the confirmation page, and paste in your URL. And as I say, that is the 3rd step of the funnel. So having external content, which again, further sales clients, further sales prospects, is super powerful on getting the book call, but also making sure that they actually show up to the book call. So you can see here, I've got entirely separate, much more smaller, so more like mini sales pages. But again, this is another 11-minute piece of content. This one is 17 minutes of content, right? And again, this helps them actually show up to the call. So that was a 3-step funnel, right? That's all you need to do in order to increase your volume of book calls, as well as the quality and caliber of the book calls that you actually receive. Again, there's no point booking in 100+ calls a month if you're only getting 4 or 5 qualified book calls, right? So you need to make sure that both are in place. right? Because one without the other, you know, again, if you don't have volume, but you get one book call a month and that's a qualified book call, well, it's good that it's qualified, but you've only got one of them, right? So you need to have both in place. You can't have one without the other and be able to scale your agency to, as I say, you know, 50, 100,000 a month. Now, the fourth and final, I should say, part of, you know, being able to increase the number of book calls that you get as well as quality is now to drive qualified traffic to that 3-step funnel that we've just outlined. Again, there's no point having that 3-step funnel really locked in and have, you know, a great offer and all this good stuff, you know, have a really good Calendly structure and a great thank you funnel if nobody's viewing it, right? So you need to then be able to send highly qualified traffic to that funnel. Now, one of the best ways to do this, and this is really only once you're at around 5, 10, 15,000 a month, you know, you've got a proof of concept in place with your agency, you've got a few clients and you're getting good results with them, you've got great case studies. Well, the best thing that you can do at that point in order to scale to 50,000, 100,000 a month, and this is again why we go through this in the Centaurian Agency program, because that program takes you to 100,000 a month, right? But this is the best way to scale. Is by running paid traffic to sign clients, okay? It's by pushing paid traffic to that 3-step funnel, right? And you're able to do this at scale once you have a solid funnel and offer in place, right? So you can see here, this is this month. I'll update it again. This month so far, today at the point of recording this, we're at July 5th, okay? We're halfway through the day. It's currently 12 p.m., July 5th, right? So this month, in the first 4.5 days, really, it's not even 5 days, we've booked in 22 sales calls for $31 per booked call. Okay, so now what we've basically done is we've built this machine that is proven, right? And when an e-com brand goes through the machine, right? When an e-com brand gets passed through the machine, they convert into a book call. And then from there, obviously, we look at selling them, right? So really now what we do with paid traffic is we just push more prospects through that proven machine. That's it. That's the only goal now with paid traffic, is we're able to now push more prospects through that machine. And because it's more, obviously paid traffic is more automated, we can do this at a much higher scale than you ever could with emails. Right, you can never get, you know, 22 book calls in 4.5 days with emails unless you're sending like 2,000 emails a day. And even at that point, you've got you've got a lot more logistical issues such as email health and, you know, all that type of stuff, right? Paid traffic is the number one way to scale your agency once you've got a proof of concept locked in. And when I talk about proof of concept, I not only mean from the agency side, so meaning, you know, you've got clients and you're getting good results for clients, you've got a good team in place and you can actually handle the scale, but also from a funnel perspective as well. So, you know, for example, again, in the Centaurian Agency program, this is the type of stuff that we go through. I actually give all of the audiences that we're targeting, I give away this entire ad account. So Centaurian customers can just copy what I'm doing and just put it into their own ad account and just get 100 calls a month as well with their agency right through paid ads. But one of the big things that we go through before they run the paid ads is getting the funnel itself locked in with email outreach first. Again, building a proof of concept around that 3-step funnel before running the ads. And then once they've got clients booking calls and obviously, you know, they're signing clients by virtue of that 3-step funnel, then we take it to paid traffic and then we just push more prospects through that proven funnel and you scale. That's it. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of small things to it that need to really be in place, you know, about, you know, there's a lot of hyper optimization that we do. I mean, we've not even talked about actual ads, you know, in this video itself. So there's a lot of things to it, but it's not complex. And as I say, in this video, we didn't go through the specific frameworks of all these different pillars, right? Ad copy, video ads, VSL, thank you funnel, Calendly structure, you know, content, right? On the thank you funnel, as I say, ad account structure, even audiences to target. We didn't go through the specific frameworks of each one of those pillars that you need to implement on, obviously, in order to see the top tier results. But once you have that system and you know the specifics of each one of those pillars, it's really just a matter of implementing on them and taking action on them, and you see these results. That's it. Because it's proven, right? That's really all it comes down to. It is proven to work. And so once you implement on it, once you take action on it, it'll work for you as well. And this is another one of the reasons why I'm so confident in the Centaurian program, because it's just what I'm doing. And I see firsthand that it works. This, as I say, this is how we sign like 95% of our clients. The reason it's not 100% is because obviously we still get referrals and whatnot. But for new clients, like complete cold prospects, complete top of funnel, have no affiliation with us in the past, 100% of those clients come through ads for us now, because it's just the best way, as I say, to scale to and past 100,000 a month with your agency. Okay, so if you are interested in getting these proven systems implemented directly into your own agency so that you have the ability, and I say the ability because there's still sections that obviously you need to take action on yourself. I can only give you so much. I can't run the ads for you, and or unless you come on to Apex Acquisitions, then we run the ads for you. But you get the idea, right? I can't build the VSL for you and give you the exact framework, the exact word for word script pretty much for you to then go ahead and action on yourself, but I can't actually do it for you, right? However, if you want those systems for you to take action on and just have basically a no-brainer push button way to implement these things into your own agency yourself that are proven, right? Bear in mind, these things are proven, right? Then go ahead and click the Apply for Centaurian Agency link in the description. It's gonna take you to a book call page. Go ahead and schedule in a call, and I'll basically just show you exactly how we can implement these exact systems into your own agency so that you can start booking in 50, 100 plus calls a month. And really at that point, say, client acquisition and sales and whatnot isn't an issue. What then becomes your main focus as the agency owner is your team, right? And the output of your team, which is another huge aspect of Centaurian Agency. Because again, without a team, you will not be able to see past like 20, 30K a month. It's pretty impossible to see past 20, 30K a month without a solid team in place, and you will never be able to scale to 100,000 a month, again, without a solid team. So that's another huge area of Centaurian, because really that becomes your main focus once you get this locked in, and you'll be able to get this locked in very simply, very easily, and very efficiently as well, and effectively by virtue of just actioning on the proven system that we've built, and that is Centaurian Agency. So if you're interested in Centaurian, as I say, click the Apply for Centaurian link below, and yeah, that's about it. I hope this video itself was useful, was valuable. As always, if you did find value, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.